Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Share Your Grin. Today we are going to be talking about a fantastic show, Tower of God. We're going to be talking about if there's going to be a season 2, the complications of there maybe being a season 2 and what's going on in the background so you can understand why things are a little clunky, as well as talking about the thoughts on the series, season 1 as well as answering the question that I had after season 1 ends and just kind of having reassurance of where the series goes without maybe taking the pretty arduous task of reading the whole manhwa to understand what the heck's going to happen, and just to know that this is where it's going. It's going to be okay. It's going to level out at some point. Yeah, okay. But ladies and gentlemen, for those guys who do not know, Tower of God is a Crunchyroll anime that is fantastic. It is of a manhwa, which is basically there's manga and then there's manhwa. I'm probably not saying that right, but essentially it's a Korean kind of webtoon-like thing, and it's just got a different kind of style slash environment, I guess is the best way to put it. It looks a little different. But yeah, it's one of the first that was actually adapted, and it's great. It was so good. The art style a little fucky, but pretty damn awesome as well. But alas, will there be a Tower of God? Let's answer that question, because that's what I was wondering when I ended the series. Because I loved what I seen, and I wanted to, of course, know if we were going to get more, hopefully within a timely fashion. And basically the root of this problem is not that the anime didn't do well. The anime did incredibly well. Same with Tower of God. They both did incredible numbers, sold a lot. All that seems great. Most other anime could only dream to get the success that they got. But regardless, so the success of the show is not the problem. The problem is that what happened in the background of all of the things. So basically, for those guys who do not know, I believe basically the same company that owns Funimation also bought Crunchyroll. And I think it's Sony, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, Sony bought Funimation, or had Funimation, and now they also bought Crunchyroll. So now they're under the same umbrella. They both kind of do the same thing, so we'll see what happens in the future with them, maybe merging or something like that, regardless. Essentially, Crunchyroll, and this is my understanding of it, Crunchyroll started producing these new webtoons, and people loved it. They basically made their own anime, and people loved the shit out of them. But then a new publisher slash boss comes in and it's Sony, and they basically don't know if Sony is going to greenlight their current activity, which is to actually produce anime rather than just be the kind of host site of the shows themselves. Now we're gonna probably get another season 2 of Tower of God, but I do think it's going to take a while before things stabilize and normalize within the company of Crunchyroll in combination with Sony, and maybe in some combination with, of course, Funimation. So yeah, that's something that I think we're going to be we're going to wait for maybe a year and a half or half a year to see their company finally stabilize, because I believe it's quite a recent purchase. Regardless, that is what people are speculating is the main reason for there being a great deal of clunk when getting another season to a very, very successful show that has plenty of source material, has plenty of love to go around, all that kind of stuff. So people are speculating that that's the reason why things are so janky, is because we don't know if Sony is going to say, hey Crunchyroll, keep doing that. Keep making original series and don't just be a mechanism that just basically holds the content. We don't know. Hopefully, we get another season of Tower of God, and I hear God of High School is amazing. It's on the list that keeps growing, of course, for me. But anyways, point being is that the show has every box checked in terms of it getting another sequel. It was successful. It sold well. People loved it. The high reviews. All of these things. So yeah. The only thing is that it's Crunchyroll's IP essentially. It's in their ballpark. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, again, it gets greenlit. People are speculating. Yeah. So as of right now, Tower of God is not being renewed for a season 2, but it's highly likely that the anime will continue and will return to Crunchyroll just because it's successful. Again, I think right now they're just dealing with the weirdness of getting a new overarching boss and making sure that's all in line. Regardless, again, has great reviews online. Oh, also, this is another thing. The creator of the manga or the manhwa that made Tower of God had some sort of health issues and took a break. So potentially Crunchyroll might have been like, whoa, wait, do you want to invest in this IP that the person is clearly burnt out on or not willing to finish? That's a mess. So they're probably like, wait, are you okay? Are you sure you're gonna finish this? Because if we put a bunch of people making it and there's no content to finish it, there's no like way the story ends, that's gonna be hella frustrating, especially for people who are so invested, like myself, just by watching season 1 in the show. By the way, so many people are suggesting watching or reading the manhwa, the webtoon essentially. So do that if you so desire. I'm trying to work through that list I was talking about, okay? Anyways, however, it says right here, however, it's recently been revealed that the series will return to a webtoon in the summer. So the author took a break and now he's back, which is good. When will we get a season 2 is the next follow-up question that, of course, I wondered, and people are speculating that it's going to be fall 2021. I don't know about that. Maybe Crunchyroll might pop in and be like, I don't know. I feel like it's much more likely they will probably get it 2022, just because it'll take that amount of time, I think, to stabilize within Crunchyroll and for also them to know exactly where they're going. But at least it's a common pattern where when we get a season 2, a season 3 follows very close behind. So it's almost like when these blocks start falling, all of them start to fall with relative ease. So that's cool. So again, if you guys do want to take this article's word for it, think about winter 2021. That might be more of a realistic return to the show, but we'll see. Again, the corona pandemic weirdness definitely played a part in, I think, fucking up and destabilizing just about everyone's work pattern, but we'll see. Again, it's super likely that we'll get a season 2. So likely that even if Crunchyroll has to just sell their IP, I feel like there will be a lot of buyers because of how many people love the show and want more of the show, and it will probably sell incredibly well because of what Crunchyroll's team did, which, again, is a shame because you want them to keep doing what they're doing because they're doing a damn good job at it. Ladies and gentlemen, that rounds it up, essentially. COVID fucked up everything, all that. We also have the Sony buying Crunchyroll, which probably added some sort of weird hierarchy to getting certain things done and approved, which probably delayed things quite a great deal, as well as making an anime takes a long time. So, yeah. Now, give and take, making an anime that is this successful usually doesn't, because people want that cash. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, now, before we get into answering the final or the third question of the show, which is, what the hell happens at the end? And of course, that's going to be riddled with spoilers, so let's start here with the second question. Essentially, the question being, hey Grin, what did you think about the show? What is the show? Why are you so excited about it? And why are you excited for, of course, a season 2? Well, thank you for asking. Appreciate this. This is the back and forth now. First of all, Tower of God is a odd show. It's kind of like, I don't even know where to place it, because it's not like your normal like isekai weirdness. I guess it kind of is, in a weird sense, but it does such a good job about subtly implementing the world's rules, knowledge, in just a very, very endearing and interesting way, at least to me, with a slight lull period around the episode 7 to 8 mark, when you're kind of getting away from Bomb and you're moving towards these other people. Anyways, regardless, the story of Tower of God is very unexplained at the start. So basically, there's this character named Bomb. The whole story can be essentially boiled down to Bomb is trying to climb the tower to reach his love of his life, Rachel. Rachel wants to get to the top of the tower to see the stars. Bomb loves Rachel, so he just wants to make sure she's safe and be with her. He's a hopeless romantic, and also many different reasons why he's the way he is. Regardless, of course, Bomb being the main protagonist is more or less special in more ways than one, not just because he's innately strong or unique in any which way, but he's also incredibly kind, innocent, and caring. And a lot of the whole overarching story is that Bomb isn't corrupted by the world, because Bomb was stuck in between like the cracks of the tower, and yeah, that's also the overarching story as well, is for everybody else, is it's people who have been through some sort of trauma that have a vested interest in climbing the Tower of God. Now, what's at the top of the tower? Godlike powers / godlike information / anything and everything you could want. And it's very very cool base story. You have the underlying story of, okay, we have this entity in the world where if you climb this tower, you get mass knowledge, and there's people who have done it before you, who have shown that they're like incredible, like they're basically attained god level strength and all of these things. So yeah, so it's not just like this like clearly not going to happen ending where like you're not going to become a god, you're not going to get the information that you want. It's stupid. You know, it's not like that, thankfully. Now, with that being said, this show is not like a My Hero Academia shonen, like I'm a bitch and now I'm just a fucking bad bitch at the end. And it ain't how it is, at least not right now, at least not at this point in the series. But what it is this, it's very much a show that has a great story. And what I mean by that is like the characters, the voice acting, the like dialogue between them, their reasons, their motivations, their understandings of the world. All of that is really, really sharp. And again, there's still like these underlying things of like there's power scaling and bombs kind of broken by default. And yeah, so like there's ways to allocate things, and it does feel like a shonen kind of like getting stronger kind of show. Regardless, it's very much more of like a drama slash that, but it's done in a way that doesn't seem cheap. Like, you know, some drama can seem very cheap and like nonsensical. This show makes things matter and makes things make sense and feel like they're weighty. In a very important way, because it's life or death. This tower is dangerous. There's this test that's basically happening and all these kinds of things. And also, season 1 is like that. This, you know, Hunter x Hunter, or any sort of like training montage kind of thing. Like you have to complete this trial, this trial, this trial, and then you get something at the end. That is what season 1 is, which is such an awesome trope with an anime, period. Hunter x Hunter instilled that into me, at least, regardless. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's actually get into like pretty decent spoiler range for Tower of God. So that's my best pitch of what I can sell to you, is that it's very good story-wise. The characters are lovable, enjoyable, unique, different. The characters' backstories developed, more or less. And the world itself is just desirable. And one thing that I want to stress, this show's music hits different. This show's music feels so like, it makes things feel so biblical, if that makes any sense, like holier than thou, and like special, and like, I can't think of the word, but something that like basically holy, or like biblical is a great word too, but like, yeah, something like that, like something that is woo to it, this wow factor, and the music just sets that in tone so well. But I digress. Okay, now we're getting into spoiler things. What the shit? Well, maybe not. Maybe we shouldn't get to the ending so fast. But man, this show, I knew I was gonna love it, because I thought Bomb was just like a cool looking character. And again, they make a very good case for Bomb. Like he's a person who was shown kindness and basically seen none of it his whole life. So the first person that showed kindness, that taught him that was company, like loneliness is a poison kind of thing, he basically attaches to, and it becomes his whole world, because he has never had anything else. And yeah, so at that point, they do a really good job, in my opinion, in the story, making everyone's motivations seem fair and reasonable, and like, okay, I get it, I get you, I understand why you are somewhat like this. Now some characters have more of that than others, but still. And I love the subliminal things where like Bomb is busted, because that's my favorite thing. Sometimes people make a big show of it, like we're like, the main character's overpowered, and you're like, oh my goodness. But then in this show, it's like Bomb has got a shit ton of weird, and I like how it's just subliminal. Like the first time, like, what do you call it, the trainer or the trainee person who puts him through that test basically tells him like, hey, luck is a thing, like luck can be a part of the tower in the training things, so that shouldn't be discounted. And then in his back of his head, he's like, there's a new monster in the tower, and it's Bomb. And I'm like, hell yes, hell yeah. And again, there's like, one of the things that classify this anime is it's very drama centered. And I feel like drama doesn't sell it well. It has looping things where like things matter. They'll loop back at some point, and they'll make them make sense. And if you watch the show again, you'll have a much more like understanding and a thesis of what the hell's happening on all fronts. And I imagine it'll be that much more enjoyable. But Regardless, I fucking love his bromance with like the turtle dude and mainly the blue haired dude. I just love because everyone associates, by the way, it's something that happens in the show immediately, and it's said kind of subliminally, but like I think most people pick up on it like before they have to outright say it. But there is this like profound innocence and kindness that Bomb always has. And it's because, again, he hasn't been hurt by the world at all. He's lived in a crack in the wall and never had to feel that. So he's basically just super doe-eyed, and all the people around him see that within Bomb. They see that like he's relentlessly kind and he doesn't have any like jagged edge because nothing ever hit him. Nothing ever made a dent because nothing had the opportunity to yet. So people all around him, people who are like scarred, broken, have their own trauma, their own like reasons why they don't trust this or that, want to protect Bomb and keep that safe for as long as humanly possible because they've all been quote unquote ruined and they don't want Bomb to be the same way. And I love that overarching theme. I digress. The show, I could talk about it for hours. It is so good, man. I loved it to pieces. It was, and also I wanted to talk to people about it too. So I'm happy I'm making the video because yeah, man, there's so many things. Like I love how the turtle dude like evolves so well, and what's the other one? What do you call it? Like there's like that basic ass human who's just like a guy in a sweat. Looks like a Russian essentially. He's wearing sweats and shit, and he's just super positive. And he again, that's one of the things I like. I was waiting for, in so many cases of the show, for the shoe to drop, for like his friends to just relentlessly backstab him. But no, all of them are like relatively wonderful, spectacular people. I'm sure I'll be proven wrong within future events, but sure. But regardless, the only person, this is a spoiler, big spoiler, so I probably, if you've been just listening to me ramble and rave about stuff, then I suggest you move on, or you pause it, watch the show, or just maybe don't care about spoilers, because again, it's more about the way they unraveled everything that I think makes it so special. Also, again, each training arc, I love it. I love that, again, each time Bomb proves himself, it's just sick, and I think that's the only weak point in the story, which isn't even that weak, is when Bomb isn't involved. Because I just feel disconnected, to be honest. I feel like I'm like, what is happening? I don't want this. I want that. Please give me more of that than not this. There's a moment when like Bomb, it's all about the blue-haired kid dude proving how like absurdly smart he is. And I don't know. I'm like, nice, but I want Bomb to be in the shit of it. I don't like the fact that we're just sitting here looking at these characters, which are cool. But I don't know. I don't like the fact that, I mean, it's a fair trade. Bomb gets like a lot of the episodes, and there's like 2 episodes given to like 80 different characters. So I get it, and they did a really good job at sharing like perspectives on all of them, and like making you hate certain ones because they backstabbed this or that, right? Regardless, loved each like part of the training arena, and of course this is a little bit of spoilers for what's to come in the distant future. It does seem like they're going to kind of follow similar threads, like there's the training arc or the test entrance exam part or season. Then the next season could be like a battle arena kind of beating this big bad boss kind of a season. Then the next one could be going into this train and trying to go past each section of the train, because that's going to help you get into higher in the tower. So there's things like that. So it's not like the training trope is dead. It's just, or the exam trope is dead. It's just that it's going to kind of have different lenses, and again, different kind of sequences of like, hey, you need to prove yourself. You're going to keep climbing higher and higher and higher. It's not quite to the extent of like clearly people being in power. It's less about the main character Bomb and his friends against the examiners, and instead it's about Bomb and his friends against the tower, the like unknown entity itself kind of thing, for the future season, it seems. Let's talk about this fucking rat. Okay, this fucking freckled mother. Oh boy, what a rat. What a disgusting wretch. Anyways, but man, they do a good effing job about, like, I was like, Rachel seems pretty nice. I mean, she got some shit going on, but also I didn't know, because I see like stuff in the background, like little clips and stuff on anime, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch that. So I seen Rachel in passing, and I always thought like she was like a reincarnation of Rachel. Now she's full-blown Rachel. She's the same person who was like, Bomb, treat people kindly and I love you. But she also did poison him a little bit by saying like, well, Bomb, what if somebody hurt me, Bomb? You would be mad and hurt them, right? And you're like, well, what a fucked up thing to put in the mind of a basically a infant, you freak. Anyways, regardless, yeah, there's just all of these moments where, like, again, now that you've seen the ending, you're like, oh, it was all bad. but if I were to get back to my old self, I'm like, Rachel seems like she's got some shit going on, but I mean, she hasn't really done anything bad. And then you're like, oh no, she's been doing things bad for the whole time. This fucking person faked being a paraplegic. What is happening? That's all you need. But then you had to come after the one person that would love you unconditionally. I think 90% of people watching the series are just like, see the stars and become a god, or have someone that wants you even a fraction as much as Bomb. What? What the? That's not a fucking choice, you psycho lunatic. Anyways, so yeah, the ending is Rachel just fucking yeeting Bomb into the water, and Bomb finally, and it's kind of sad, but Bomb, like, you can see his eyes shift. Like, his eyes are like kind of traumatized. Like, there's that dent that finally got made with Bomb. And of course Bomb falls, and at the ending we know that the weird redheaded girl who's like in the weird LASIK fucking outfit, she actually is a guide, which apparently a guide is a person who can just move like endlessly throughout the tower. I believe it's the same person who the brunette girl who gave him the sword, that one dude with the like military backpack. I think he's the same thing. He's a guide, just go wherever he wants in the tower, guides people around, so to speak, guide. And she's basically like, hey, we're gonna try to help you climb the tower or something, or I'm gonna help you climb the tower. And of course Bomb it's cool because they didn't make it so that Bomb was just shattered. But Bomb, it seems like at the very end, no longer has the idea or the desire to like, it seems like he knowledge, information, and understanding is what he kind of now values. Whereas beforehand, it seemed like he very much valued laughing with his friends and all of those kinds of things, which I don't know if he'll take, because I feel like now that he doesn't have anybody, he just has training and his idea of being betrayed and wanting to know why Rachel did what she did. And that's what's going to lead him forward, apparently. And we'll get to that in a minute. But overall, guys, again, the series to me is wonderful. I think, again, I really haven't seen drama done in this way, / storytelling done in this way. The thing that stands out to me, man, about this whole show is that it just felt different. It felt like, again, biblical. It felt like special. It felt the music did work so well, like so well for the thing that they were trying to do, which made it seem like these larger than life challenges, and then the person rising the hell up to the challenge, and then also being punished for just trusting in human people, or like flawed people in general, was really interesting. I think that's going to be a constant theme, is Bomb finding a way to be good and be Bomb still, whilst also having to recognize that there's horror in the world, and maybe being a test case for how to do that, how to keep seeing the wonder in the people around you in the world and in your friends, but also having to manage the trauma and horror of life, maybe. That's me being a little crazy though, but alas, ladies and gentlemen, at this point you probably have gotten spoiled like a crazy amount, and I would also like to give you another warning for a big ass spoiler coming. So when I ended this series, again, like we know, the series ended with Bomb getting shoved, and his, oh, I didn't even mention that, Rachel's plan is the most I gotta know what happens next kind of plan, because her friends, or Bomb's friends, think that she is a fucking paraplegic and a weak as shit, and that Bomb fucking died for her. And we know that Bomb gave everything and she still killed him. So fuck off. Anyway, so it's just it's like an ending where you're just like, not like this. no. And they're all helping her. They're helping out the person that slaughtered or killed they're the person that they were all fighting to protect in this endeavor. And not only that, but Bomb went out of his way to try to pull her through the encounter. Anyways, so it just ended. This ended in a way that I was like, God damn it, I gotta know what happens. And luckily there's a manhwa. So I spent some time on Reddit. I don't know everything, which is I think why I wanted to make this video, is not only to tell you guys that there's going to be a season 2 probably, but also why there hasn't been a season 2 as soon as probably people would expect it, as well as what the hell happens in season 2. What's like, at least generally enough to give your mind some ease and not spoil everything, but to give your mind some ease. And also, what is with the last shot of the anime with this tall, lanky ass motherfucker with the ponytail? What's that about, Grin? So, if you want me to give you what I think is enough to satisfy you to wait for the show to come back, then stick around. If you're even hesitant on, well, maybe I don't want to be spoiled, or maybe you'll tell me too much, totally okay. I suggest you click off the video now. But unless you're like me and you don't want to spend 20 minutes looking through fucking Reddit things and to try to get them a right amount of information, but not enough to just wreck you, then maybe I made this video for you, basically, and myself, frankly. Anyways, so let's get into it. The person that you've seen at the end of season 1, the very final frame, is Bomb. Bomb grows up and becomes a lanky ass motherfucker. And also, a lot of it's going to be broad brush strokes. It's going to have various degrees of different detail. This is kind of my weird web of knowledge about looking into stuff, but not trying to look into stuff too much to where I know everything. Anyways, point being is that lanky ass person is Bomb. Now, this is the thing that's a little unfortunate, but let me tell you this at the head of it. Bomb will eventually meet his original team and friends again, but not without a little bit of different people being introduced to the whole of the story. So just know that he will eventually get back to his team, and they will eventually stay with each other for a long period of time, and they'll climb. But there's some weird fucking nonsense that has to happen in between. So, the events of what happened, there's going to be a time jump when we enter into season 2, probably, and it's going to show that, or they're probably not going to show that there's a time jump. They're probably just going to show you this long, tall ass character, and they're not going to tell you he's Bomb. He's Bomb. Spoiler: he's Bomb. And Bomb has basically been being trained by this underground force, which the redhead and the test examiner who made Rachel basically backstab Bomb, they're all a part of. And I think it's called Foul or something like that, or some weird thing. Anyways, it's basically like an underground organization that actually wants to destroy, I believe, the tower or the hierarchy within the tower. It doesn't matter. Regardless, one of the people who is training Bomb is a part of this organization, and it seems like Bomb kind of gets a little corrupted. And again, I think it's because Bomb is he's training and he's trying to seek knowledge, and none of those are part of Bomb's original, I want to love the woman I love and I want to make as many friends as possible. So it becomes a little cold in that sense. But at the same time, they also introduce us to brand new characters. One of the new characters, it seems like, is this like king boy that looks like he's going to become a king. He has the earrings. Anyways, regardless, essentially this is going to start, season 2 is going to start with Bomb being very trained, kind of merciless and cruel, but he meets this team and the team ends up being good for Bomb, and I think it starts pulling out the good parts about Bomb as well, the kind soul, the friendly person, etc. And then eventually they meet up, and I think it's going to do that thing where like they're somehow missing each other, basically. So like Bomb and Rachel and his friend's team are conveniently just missing each other as they're like in the same location, which is just going to be aggravating as hell, knowing that Rachel's just going to be like, yeah, Bomb really loved me. And I fucking slaughtered his dumb ass. What? I didn't say anything. God, I'm the best. My legs don't work. That's just wrong. Anyways. And Bomb is going to be like, I've been training years and years. And yeah. And I still love you. And I hate me for that. But anyways, moving on. So yeah, that's basically where the story is going to go. And eventually, with them bobbing and weaving around, Bomb is going to connect with them, his old team, at some point. All the while, Bomb is going to be getting power. So it very much feels like the show splits off into two directions. You're watching the masochistic nightmare that's going to be watching Rachel lie to his friends and the blue-haired kid knowing fucking that something's off, something's sus. Okay, and then Bomb developing, essentially. He's been training a shit ton, so have these people been doing that. So Bomb is going to be what essentially is like training and then being kind of cruel and then pivoting back, I think, to what he normally is, which is like his kind, hopeful self to some slight extent. And again, eventually, apparently, there is information that is passed around, but again, I don't know the specifics. All I know is that he'll eventually meet his team again, and beginning of season 1 might be a little masochistic because we're gonna have to watch Bomb essentially interact with people that are not a part of our season 1 friends and enjoyed characters, right? So it's gonna be a little hard to manage with that, but I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. That has been us raving and ranting about Tower of God, which is just a magical, fantastical show, which I would highly suggest, even if I just spoiled a lot for you. It is in the delivery, the music, the animation, the characters that you will fall in love with the show. So again, if you haven't checked it out, I would highly advise you do. Season 1, again, eventually Bomb is going to interact with Rachel, but again, I'm not sure if all of season 1 is just going to be them basically floating around each other, or sorry, season 2 is going to be them floating around each other, and then at the final episode, they finally interact. I would think that's maybe what's going to happen, although I feel like probably if there is another season 1 to 6 episodes is probably going to be the adventures of Bomb and his new friends, and then eventually maybe at the very, very like last 3 episodes, that's when they're going to finally collide, and then you're going to be like, okay, season 3 is when we're going to get into a different bit of business. But who knows how things progress, we'll see. But the point is that there is plenty of source material, and this show is fantastic, and it had enough budget and enough people bought it to where it warrants a season 2 or 3, 4, frankly. So the odds of us getting season 2, high. When it will be, unknown, fortunately. Think maybe next year, just maybe winter this year, who knows. But ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's all I got. That's all the questions that I wanted answered. Some of them half answered with the like release date, but also knowing where the story will eventually go and being comforted by the fact that Bomb will eventually meet his friends. They will know the truth. But in the meantime, season 1, don't expect it just to get right back to where it was. Expect it to kind of take a detour, develop Bomb with these new characters, and then to come back, and then to probably leverage those characters later down the line in the future seasons. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again, and goodbye.